next speaker is, well, she's a real pretty lady. I happen to like her because she's my wife. But on top of that, she's running for state representative here in District 4 as an independent candidate. She's my co-host on the 2 radio shows, homeschool mom. Well, I could go on and on and on, but I won't. Melissa Pehle-Hill.
Hi, everybody. I want to start by saying how good it is to be here with you today at this Freedom Rally. I love the idea of getting together to talk about and celebrate freedom. And what freedom we still have, that is. Sure, we still have some freedom left, but I must reiterate a question asked by President Reagan many years ago. It is time for us to ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by our founding fathers. I say we don't, and I imagine you would agree. Think about it now. Do you have the right to build onto your home without a building permit, which you have to pay for? In essence, paying for permission to add onto your home. What about hunting or fishing? Can you go out and shoot a deer this afternoon and feed your family without a license during off-season, without paying a huge fine and bringing about the wrath of the government with no search warrant necessary? No, you can't. Now, do you think our founding fathers ever envisioned this great nation full of people asking permission to improve their homes or feed their families? I don't, since they wanted the same thing for us as they had for themselves. True freedom, which does not entail asking the government for permission for anything. The purpose of the government was, in the words of Thomas Jefferson, the care of human life and happiness, and not their destruction, is the first and only legitimate object of good government. And something tells me he wasn't meaning welfare when he said that, especially as he also said, a government big enough to give you everything you want is big enough to take away everything you have. Yet right now, many in Washington are trying to figure out how to bring about a government takeover of health care the way they did with General Motors. And they have already passed the hate crimes bill, which in essence makes speaking the word of God a federal crime. However, we must not forget that pedophiles are now safer. I don't know about you, but I have a problem with that. They are placing unconstitutional taxes on certain items such as cigarettes or tobacco, thereby penalizing those who smoke. What is right about that? Is it okay with you, or do you realize that it won't be long before they decide to put an entertainment tax of like 50 cents on the dollar before, so you can rent a movie or buy a movie or rent a video game? Or when it costs more than a year's internet, or costs more for a year's internet than for the computer that it takes to go on the internet because of an exorbitant tax. And you better believe that one's on their minds. Only they haven't figured out how to tax their ideological enemies, at least not yet. I don't know about you, but every morning I wake up dreading the news of what they are now doing in Washington. And if that isn't bad enough, while our eyes have been trained on DC and Obamacare, in Austin they were discounting our parental rights as unimportant when they passed SB 1440 unanimously. This bill would have allowed CPS to take your children without cause. Governor Perry vetoed this bill and kept our parental rights intact, but not a single member of the legislature considered it important. They unanimously also passed HB 2571, which allows the state to determine the cost a tow company can charge to tow a car. Does that sound like the free market to you? Or maybe a little bit like too much government involvement? How about having people that work in salvage yards have to have a license to work in the salvage yard and sell parts? What about that job requires that level of government intervention? I can understand law enforcement needing to know where they are because of car theft issues. But this law is ridiculous and serves the people of this state in no way, except that our state gets more money from the people while exerting more control over them. What is wrong with this picture? Is this still Texas? Are we still in the United States of America? Then where has freedom gone? I don't know about you, but I remember letting the state legislature know we weren't happy about the illegal immigration problem. And I remember everybody distinctly making just as much noise as they did in Oklahoma and Arizona. Yet their response in Austin, unlike those in Oklahoma and Arizona, was to do nothing. If they're waiting for the feds, well, we know what the feds are going to do. It'd be more amnesty and more benefits on our dime. Is that acceptable to you? So what's the answer? Is there an answer? Yes, there is. But I have to say I don't think they're quick or easy. We have to do more than vote for the lesser of two evils. We have to actively seek out better representation. Remember, Ronald Reagan did not want to be the president. It took them around 20 years to convince him to run. That is the kind of people we need in every office that we can get. The ones that don't want the hassle, don't want the power, but who want our country to be once again the greatest nation on earth. We must then support their campaigns, not just with money, but spreading the word. If we get them into office, and we get enough of them into office, we have a chance at taking back the country that we love and making it once again the greatest nation on earth. In closing, I wish to leave you with a quote and a thought. George Washington said, "If the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led, like sheep to the slaughter." They have already limited our free speech with the hate crimes legislation, and they're not about to stop there. God bless Texas and the USA, and God bless you. Have a good day.